Good morning, YouTube. How is it going? So, this morning, it's literally 5 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't expecting to be making another video so damn soon, but I found something that I think that I kind of need to react to. Now, first and foremost, before we get into this is not a political channel. Okay. By any means. I don't want this channel to become political. I don't want this to necessarily align one way or the other. I do judge people based on their character. I don't, judge them based on, political affiliations. Though, generally speaking, I suppose political affiliations can kind of show a lot about, a person's character. But I just happened to find out, I didn't know this, that Last Frontier Medium has a second channel by her name, Melinda Lyons, right? And when I found that out, I was like, oh, let's go check it out and see what's going on over there. What kind of content do we have happening over here? And so there was a video that was uploaded on her channel, on that particular channel, that was uploaded July 14th, 2021. So not that long ago, right? About a month ago now. It was uploaded. And first and foremost, okay, let me actually just kind of pull this up over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's go over to the reaction side. So if you can see down there at the bottom, right down over here, right here, all right, the particular way that this is spelled out, right? Now, in the video, she kind of addresses this and says, any God, but this specifically says, God's wrath has struck. Now, here's a thing, right? So Melinda constantly talks about how she is not a Christian and how the church is, a bad thing and gives misinformation, but yet with this particular piece of content is seeming fairly supportive of, that archetype, which is the Christian God. And as we can all see, the title of the video is by George Floyd. And then in parentheses, God's wrath has struck. So I saw that and I'm sitting there thinking, interesting. Okay. So I figured, well, fuck it. I'm going to watch it and see what it's about. And we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the spiritual side of it and the implications that she's implying in the video, and the information that's being provided. She goes into socialism and things like that, and we're not going to be talking about that. I don't want to talk about socialism. I don't want to talk about, political structures and things like that. That's of no interest to me, in this space. But to sit there and say in this video, as she says in this video, that the universe is speaking. So if this is going to be a topic that's going to be triggering for you, then I suggest you just kind of click off. This is going to be a little bit different than other videos that we've gone into, or other reactions that we've done. Slightly different. And I think one of the biggest reasons, because this isn't the first time I've seen, these arguments being presented, in a space like this, but I find it necessary to kind of talk about it, because it's Last Frontier Medium. And as everybody knows, there is a slight, kind of back and forth between her and myself, and, my ideals and her community and my community. And I don't want you guys fighting. So this is not an open invitation to go, attacking her or anything like that. I don't want that to happen. Okay, that's not what this is about. This is presenting information. This is me reacting to this information, this person's ideas. Okay, and kind of calling them out, how I interpret the content that they're producing. Okay, I cannot definitively say that this is indicative of her personality or her actual beliefs or anything like that. I cannot confirm or deny. Now, we can obviously all come to our own conclusions by watching this video and hearing the things that she's saying. And I'm going to make a point. Okay. There's a point that I kind of want to bring across here, because there's the arguments that she's going to be presenting is, arguments that are consistently presented, by conservatives, that are arguments that shouldn't even be a part of the discussion, in my opinion. So here we go. We're going to go into this. We're going to watch this and get ready to cringe. Okay, so let me get my my aviator headphones on here. So it looks like I'm in air traffic control. All right, here we go. And I do believe that that's going to play through the desktop audio. So here we go.
Today's a good day. Have you heard?
So there's that first thing. So today's a good day. So the entire attitude is kind of setting a tone here, right? Which is just hearing that just brings a gag reflex, shall we say. Okay, so let's continue.
About George Floyd's mural. I can't remember what state it was. I'll write it down in the description box when I find out. I think it was in Illinois, I think. I'm not sure. And it got hit by lightning.
The absolute smugness in her face, like she found like the the Ark of the Lost Covenant or some shit. The absolute smugness and arrogance in her face. It's just, here we go.
If the universe isn't speaking to you by now, based on the ridiculousness of George Floyd.
And there it is. If the universe isn't speaking to you right now about the ridiculousness of George Floyd, what is the ridiculousness of George Floyd? The man was murdered. He was murdered. It's that simple. What ridiculousness. And then to sit there and say that the universe is saying something, like, because of a random event that lightning happened to strike, a building, that it's somehow a sign because it's lightning. You do realize that lightning goes from the ground up, right? Not from the sky down. It's kind of like more like a meet in the middle kind of thing. You realize that, right?
I have no words for you. If it's not hitting you by now, if it's not literally striking you by lightning, to understand that the George Floyd is a giant scam, hypocrisy.
It's a scam. A man is dead, but he's a scam. Are we understanding this? Are we getting this? Is this coming across? Are we understanding the gravity of the things that she's saying right now? That it's a scam. A man is dead. Dead. He's gone. He'll never go back home to his family. He'll never be able to achieve anything in his life because his life is over. And you have the audacity to sit there and say it's a fucking scam? Keep going.
Hypocrisy and a lie. And a dark...
A lie. Where is it a lie? Are you going to sit there and tell me that Elvis and Bruce Lee are still alive too? Because that's essentially what you're saying. Because if you're saying George Floyd is a lie, then you're saying he didn't actually die. I mean, that would be my interpretation of that. I mean, you know, that's how that's coming across. Maybe you should choose your words a little bit more fucking carefully.
Agenda, and even the universe has made its decision to destroy a mural of that lie.
So, I'm not kind of backing it up enough, so we're kind of missing points. But so she said it's a dark agenda. What dark agenda? I don't see a dark agenda. No, it's not like anybody planned. You know, it's just, this thing wasn't planned out, right? They didn't plan out, killing George Floyd and then, creating a social movement behind it, as they definitely should have, right? In order for it to be a dark agenda, like that would imply that this is was a planned action. This whole thing was mapped out. I mean, the conspiracy theories that we're going to be getting into are just kind of like, whoo, right? And I subscribe to some conspiracy theories, 9/11, shit like that, that it was set up by the government, whatever, or at least the government had a little bit of prior knowledge to it, fucking sue me. Conspiracy theories can be fun, but this is just ridiculous.
I have no words for you.
Oh, well, that's fine if you have no words for me. I have a plethora and a dictionary full for you.
George Floyd died because of an
Okay, so at least like, there okay, so at least she kind of admits, okay, he died, all right? So it's a lie, but he died. Can't be both. It can't be both, Melinda. It can't be that, he it's a lie, but he also died. It's one or the other.
unjustly horrible murder. No one's arguing that the person who did this, can't remember the guy's name, the cop.
Yeah, that's how important it is to you that you can't even remember the name of the person that did it. Right? And nobody's arguing that it was a horrible murder. Okay, then just stop there. Because that's the point. That's the point. You just said the point. It was a horrible murder. And people are tired of seeing shit like that happen. And they're trying to make it so things like that don't happen anymore. Just stop there.
Had to go to jail. Absolutely. It was wrong. They shouldn't have.
I do not see the conviction in her face when she's sitting there saying, absolutely. Like, even just like the way that the words are rolling off. Now, I'm just kind of inferring here. Like, I can't confirm or deny anything. I'm just inferring my interpretation of the tonality in her voice and how she is saying, the things that she is saying. She does not believe that statement. She does not believe that statement. Let's go back. I'm actually going to go back here just a little bit so we can see that again. Pay attention to how the tonality of the voice changes. So talking about it's a sign from the universe. There's conviction. There's belief, right? That it's a sign from the universe. And then watch how she says that the people responsible, should have gone to prison. Watch how she says this.
The cop had to go to jail. Absolutely. It was wrong. They shouldn't have done it. There's no dispute there. There's no argument.
There's no, that same amount of conviction isn't there anymore. She's saying what she thinks she needs to say just to make sure that she doesn't have a bomb dropped on her fucking head. She doesn't, I believe that in this particular part of the video, she doesn't believe what she's saying. This is just her covering her ass.
There. But George Floyd died not because of anything justly that he did. It was because he was committing a crime. And he was.
So, and here's where the biggest issue comes in. He died because he was committing a crime. No, he didn't. He was fucking murdered. Because if he died from doing a crime, as the US legal system works, if it was a situation where lethal force was necessary because of the crime, it wouldn't be a conversation, but that's not the case. We know that's not the case. We have video recording of the fact that that wasn't the case, right? We're talking about a potentially alleged fraudulent bill that was used to buy a pack of cigarettes. That's what we're talking about. On a scale of anything that is absolutely minute and insignificant, that to me is a crime that is minute and insignificant. He might have not even known that it was a fraudulent bill. Just because he gave it to the clerk doesn't mean that he knew it was. There's a lot of things that just haven't been kind of brought to light about that. And again, it's an alleged crime. Okay, to my knowledge, it's an alleged crime. There is nothing confirmed about it. Just speculation. Right? So doesn't justify the man being killed. Just doesn't.
He was always committing crimes.
And there it is. There is that popular conservative argument. And don't get me wrong, I consider myself fiscally conservative, but socially progressive. I'm a classic liberal. Okay. Small government. But, you know, the thing is here is this is that hard right winger fucking argument right here, right? Where it's, you know, he was always committing crimes. He was always in trouble with the law. You know what? People make fucking mistakes in their lives. And at the end of the day, his murder had absolutely nothing to do with his previous criminal activity. His previous criminal activity shouldn't even be in the fucking conversation. It shouldn't be. The type of person that he was, or the things that he did, not even the type of person he was, because we don't know what type of person he was, right? We know when we talk about intention, we know that action is not indicative of your personality. People can do things that are illegal for good reasons. If you're hungry, you have children and are hungry, if any of you have families, you know, there is, you know, a high probability if you don't have any money, you need to feed your family. Guess what? You're going to be stealing a loaf of bread and some ham to make sure that your kids can eat. Right? And if you sit there and say that, no, you wouldn't, then you're a lying sack of shit. Because I know goddamn well that I would. So, you know, when we, you know, get into this, and when we talk about this, you know, this thing about the things that he did in his past should not even be a part of this conversation. Get those things out of your fucking head. Okay? That it shouldn't matter what he did. It wasn't a death sentence. It wasn't worth dying for. So get those things, get those ideas fucking gone and out of the conversation.
I feel bad that he died. Of course I.
No, you don't. Again, that passion. So if you go back 2 seconds to when she's sitting there saying, right, that he's a criminal, there's passion behind that. You can feel the force behind the voice. Right here, I feel bad that he died. No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, the passion behind what you're saying, the believability factor is gone when you say these things. And it's like, it's something that you don't even kind of like fully realize. Like, a lot of people don't realize it when they do it, is that, you know, they'll say things that they think they need to say for the sake of saying it because it's what people are expecting you to say. And you're just kind of like reading a script, basically. And that, you know, that intention and that passion behind your words are just missing. But when you're talking shit about him, That passion is there, guys. I want you to pay attention to this shit.
They feel bad that he died. He left his family, his friends, da da da. But it doesn't.
His family and his friends, da 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 da. Even some da 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 da. Like, that is just kind of like, yeah, I'm tired of kind of covering my bases here. I'm tired of like,
matter anymore, because what matters.
It doesn't matter anymore. I beg to differ. It does matter. Okay, it very much does matter. Completely. And to say that it doesn't, say that the universe is out there trying to say something, come on.
Is how the world and how America is highlighting and painting this man literally all over the states as a matriarch of society, as a person who is practically a saint.
No, that's not what people are doing. People are drawing attention to a crime that was committed. I would go as far as saying against humanity. A crime against humanity. Like, it's a crime. It's something that continually happens. It happens again and again and again. Nobody talks about it. Finally we got something, we always hear about it, but we finally got something actually on tape from multiple different angles, that can be proven and shown. So that was the moment. That was, the fire point, to bring that forward. Because now we have, solidified proof of this, brutal behavior from the police department, and it's ingrained, racist behavior towards people of color, on tape. And so by celebrating and recognizing George Floyd, what we're doing is George Floyd is now a catalyst to bring this to a public forum, to make the conversation public. It's something that we can all talk about. It's something that we can all now physically see with our own eyes. Not part of a fucking darker agenda.
And the universe decided that it's had enough of the bullshit. And lightning striked one of them down.
You see the passion there? See the passion behind those words? You see how she kind of throws that out there with like a lot more passion, a lot more conviction, rather than the other statements, right? The ones that are covering her ass.
And it could not speak louder in volumes of the universe's power, of God's power.
God's power. I thought you weren't a Christian. Here's where she's going to cover her ass, though. She's going to cover her ass on this one. Again, watch the change in the conviction of what she is saying. Okay? Watch the change in the tonality of her voice. Pay attention to it.
And when I say God, I mean it literally. There are gods in the universe that do watch over humanity.
So you see the drop down? So she goes, God. And then when I say gods, I mean literally. And then there's a drop down in the tonality of the voice, a drop down in the conviction. Right? This is, I need to cover my ass about the things that I'm saying in the other channel. So let's cover all the bases.
Do make sure we are safe and that we are constructing our lives in a positive way. Now, granted, there are lots of things that happen in the world that are horrible, but unfortunately, the universe can't keep track of everything. Even the universe.
Again, tonality drops, conviction drops. I'm spewing my bullshit, right? I don't necessarily believe in this, but I need to say this because it's my brand.
The universe isn't perfect. That's my philosophy anyway, but you can take it or leave it. The point is that.
And there's that right there, the dismissive behavior, take it or leave it, right? It's a non-conversation, right? Moving on.
that the universe always brings justice to those. Light always shines in the darkness of the hatred, of the evilness that's been happening without.
Well, the whole point of highlighting George Floyd was to highlight and show the evilness that exists within people and systems that exist and that are in place. And that is why George Floyd is being highlighted. That is why, George Floyd needs to be a conversation. That is why George Floyd needs to be celebrated. Okay, because you know what? Maybe he made a lot of mistakes in his life, but guess what? That man will no longer ever have an opportunity to, make a better life for himself. And you can sit there and you can say all you want that no, he probably wouldn't, because just look at his history, whatever. You don't know that. You can't say that. You can't say that he would have never changed, that he would have never become a better person, that he would have never, he was loved by people. There's a reason why he was loved by people, by his family. His family didn't disown him. His family was very distraught and upset about the situation. But now that man is no longer going to ever have an opportunity to turn things around and live a better life because he no longer has his life. He's in the ground.
People realizing what's really been going on. BLM should be ashamed of themselves. Antifa should be ashamed of.
Then here comes the political part of it, right? And now we're going to get farther into the political side of it, talking about the organizations, BLM, Antifa, all of that shit. So, another thing that's pissing me off here is like, you're just as, like, if you're going to sit there and say that, these organizations using the death of a man is despicable to springboard their agendas, what the fuck do you think you're doing? What do you think you just did at the beginning of this video? Like, we're 3 minutes and 16 seconds into this. Like, what do you think you just did? You used a natural event in nature that happened to justify your opinion about a political and social movement to then springboard yourself into talking about your politics. You are no better than the organizations that you supposedly don't believe in, if that is your standpoint.
Themselves for going about the world, going about USA, about America, and highlighting George Floyd as a reason to destroy black communities. As a reason
to destroy black communities. It's quite the opposite, actually. It's quite the opposite. Like, and I'm all for people having their opinions and things like that, but, I would go as far as saying that the rest of the nation kind of disagrees with you. Just, my opinion, based off what I've seen with my own eyes.
Reason to destroy people's lives. That's what it does. That's the dark agenda of BLM and
yeah, the dark agenda. There we go. Conspiracy theories.
Antifa and Marxism and anarchy. And it's turning our country into a socialist country.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there because I'm not gonna get into this. I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna get into the I'm not getting into the that side of things. This is not a political channel. We're not going to be talking about socialism or communism or democracy or anything like that. But I kind of want to point this video out. I wanted to highlight this video and this content because the thing is one, okay, we are looking at a liar because and the more recent videos, right? Apparently she's a witch and she's not a Christian and she doesn't subscribe to, the like Judeo-Christian, ideologies, which we know is completely untrue because everything that she spews, everything that she talks about is, based in and around and about, Judeo-Christian values, or concepts between of light and dark and good and evil, um, are Judeo-Christian. The title of this video, says God's wrath, right, has struck, um, which is, something you would hear a Christian say. Now, the one thing that we are going to go into, though, is so one of the things that I was kind of paying attention to was kind of like the comment section, right? And, you know, some of the things that go on in this comment section are worse than the video itself, in all honesty, right? So we're sitting here. Let's see here. So a lot of them are just kind of like, you're speaking a lot of truth. So apparently people are kind of putting out there, happened in Ohio State with the whole lightning strike thing. Then like you get this one person here, and JC, so St. George Floyd of fentanyl. Like, I mean, that's just disgusting, right? Has been smitten down by our Lord. Hallelujah. Which they couldn't even spell hallelujah right. Let me show this to you. Right? They couldn't even spell hallelujah right. Right? We got and JC. This was 4 weeks ago. Like, seriously? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right here, finally someone who knows that George Floyd was not a good person. What does it matter? Like, his past, that shouldn't be part of the conversation. Like, that's not the point. Like, if that's what you're talking about, you don't get it. Like, you're not getting the fucking point. You're not getting the point of why it is so significant, right? We constantly hear throughout history, we've heard about police brutality, right? All the way from fucking like before Rodney King, okay? And, that is the point here, right? We're talking about, this long history of excessive force and police brutality and racism within our system, and it's kind of like an unbalance of things. And this channel, me, I'm all about the balance. I'm all about balancing things out, right? We know that these things exist. We've seen that they exist, right? We try to excuse them away because they're scary concepts, right? They scare us, these ideas of, our police force, or, the people that are supposed to protect us, not protecting us, things like that. It's a scary idea, but, we kind of have to get in front of it. We have to get in front of it. And this is another opportunity being presented to us to kind of get in front of that. And to have that conversation, to have that difficult conversation, and kind of look at what's actually happening in society. So let's see what else we got in here. And you get a lot of the Christian comments in here, right? I would love to know all the truths in the Bible. Is it possible? Like, I mean, they're actually asking Melinda to do the truths of the Bible, And then to sit here and to say that she is brave enough to put this out there. It's not bravery. That's not being brave. That's not a brave thing. This is not a brave thing that she's doing. Brave? Why is that brave? What is she risking? Nothing. Melinda, I think you're speaking godly facts. Right? This one I give a little bit because I see you're being kind of harsh with George Floyd, but this is kind of like, this shows perfectly the mentality of her followers, right? The weakness, right? And the subdued nature of her followers, right? Melinda, I think you're speaking godly facts, but you seem kind of harsh about George Floyd's death by saying like, I kind of feel bad for him, but I have a kind of heart towards people. But Yeah, you're right, 1000%. Just look at the mentality, right? This is like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm not going to, argue with you. You're right. You're right. And then this one right here, Thor has spoken. Cameron Walter, get the fuck out of here. That fucking shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. Right. For those that don't know, one of the pantheons that I work very closely with is the Norse pantheon. I wear Mjolnir around my neck daily, every day. I never take it off. Thor has spoken. Get the fuck out of here with that. Finally, some fucking common sense. I missed this one. So you claim not to be racist, yet celebrate the destruction of a man's tribute site who was killed unjustly. You preach love and light, but do not understand the basic empathy of the situation. Like, no one in their level-headed right mind is celebrating the man as a saint, and those who are brainwashed by their own causes. Most people have the empathy for this man because of how corrupt the police system is and how the police get away with constant cruelty against human beings. Does this really need explaining to you, Karen? So finally, a little bit of common sense in the comment section, right? And then, indeed, God cannot be mocked. How is God being mocked? How is that a thing? Like, honestly, these fucking evangelical fucking extremists, like, honestly, just have me like at my wit's end. Like, I'm being completely honest. Like, they have me at my fucking wit's goddamn end with this shit. I saw this one. I like this one. That meth is doing a number on your face. Get well. Fucking shit, this stupid shit, right? This Leto fine art. Like, oh God, Leto's another one that I would love to react to, but just makes my fucking brain hurt. If you do things that are frightening, you get the lightning. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This one right here, we got, let's see, Bobby Jean. What does it say? So, wow, his mural, that is if that isn't a sign from the universe, and I don't know what is. Come on, you know. And then again, like right here, thank you, LOL. The man did violent home invasions. Again, a person's past. The past should not be taken into consideration. It shouldn't be a part of the fucking conversation. Yeah. So, I mean, the comment section just kind of like pisses me off even more. But I can't stand for this. I mean, this is a little bit different than how I would normally call Last Frontier Medium out. But this was just something that really kind of needed to be spoken about. Because I think a lot of people are still out there kind of missing the fucking point, right? They're kind of missing like what the actual point of the situation is and why he needs to be celebrated and why he needs to be remembered. People are just completely missing the goddamn point. Anyway, that is going to be it for this one. I got another one lined up. Wasn't expecting to have, multiple videos lined up by today, but hey, the morning is young. It's 5:41 in the morning. So, there might be another one in the works. So let me know what you guys think of this type of content, like this type of discussion. It's not something that I want to really get into on this channel. I really want to stay focused on, the left-hand path and the spiritual aspect of things, kind of defending, us, as, no longer being, the scapegoat for these evangelical extremists out there. because I'm tired of being a scapegoat, and I'm tired of, people that I care about being scapegoats, and, our lives being made more dangerous by fucking dimwit, crazy sons of bitches like this. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.